possible videos of the meeting. Okay. Do we want to do a quick mic check for everybody? And then just kind of a little meeting. I'm going to try to make sure, in case people forget, to keep everybody muted unless in case of dog barking and those types of things. So go ahead and let's see if we can go around the virtual room.
Courtney Porter's here.
Ron Heberle's here.
Gary Connects
here.
Yeah,
You want us to mic, cancel the mic after we talk, correct?
Yeah.
Scott.
Okay.
Chelsea Von Geer.
George, are you good on your sound, your mic?
Kathy,
Yeah.
there you go.
Is Joe on yet?
Joe? He's calling in and I see we have 2 callers called in. I'm going to unmute them both. I'm not sure which one he is.
Okay, I called once and then something happened and then I dialed again. So that's I think, but I'm here.
Okay, Joe is caller 3.
Okay.
So I think we have everybody and everybody is able to hear everybody else. And Michael has the agenda showing through YouTube. So looks like we're good to go whenever you guys are ready. Just unmute yourself when you want to talk and mute yourself when you're done. And it looks like Ron just joined too.
Hi.
Hey, Ron.
Oh, Ms.
Hello.
Freder?
Look what you did, Edith. You've got us all on.
Yay. Okay, I'm going to mute my mic and start the recording in 2 minutes or a little less than 2 minutes.
That's the first time I've seen the board muted.
I feel like I have such power right now.
This conference will now be recorded.
On phone. Dr. Washer, please.
Yes, thank you. Welcome, everybody, to our first attempt at this. Please be patient as we navigate this frame. Thank you to Edith and her staff for getting us all on and getting all this organized. I know it took a lot of effort and time. Want to let our public know comment in this meeting. If you have a comment on an agenda item, please use this email address, district, so it's my first initial and last name, CWASHER at lodiusd.net. That's CWASHER at lodiusd.net. If you email your comments on an agenda item, I will read the comment when it's that time. Please know that this is a special board meeting, so the comments are for agenda items only. Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay, Dr. Washer, you are going to wait for emails, or should we continue the meeting on this? Just a question.
Please go ahead and continue. We get to the item, it's the first item itself. Some of the emails will start coming in.
Very well. Then my agenda says, let's pledge, please. Please stand, and I'm sure everybody at home has a flag. I will start it. Ready? Salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
and to the republic, and one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, we'll start the meeting. Actually, we have one first item, and that's an item that has to do with Resolution 2020-29. First of all, I'd like to have comments from the board. Any comments and questions from the board on this item?
Mr. President.
Mr. Neely here.
Yeah, hi, George. Okay. Yes, Mr. Neely.
Quick comment on the resolution. There's been a lot of email on the resolution, and I can understand why. However, I think that everybody needs to realize that I've seen things like the board is not giving up control. The board always has control. The resolution itself, written by the county Office of Education, and put out to all superintendents and asked to put it in front of the board, is for expediency. And if there's something we don't like, we can always come together and do something about it and make a change. In case there is something that has to be done right away before we can get everybody together. So I'll be voting to approve this resolution. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, Mr. Neely. Very well. Any other comments from the board?
Yes, Mr. Nava, Ron Heberly.
Ron? How are you, Ron? You doing well?
Oh, I'm hanging in there.
Hanging in there. Okay.
Thank you for asking. On the resolution is first a comment, and I think Mr. Neely alluded to it, is that you cannot delegate responsibility, but you can delegate temporary authority. And typically that is in, it's kind of like an emergency type of thing is how I would term it. I had a nice conversation with Dr. Washer this afternoon and actually wanted to hear from her what her perspective is on this. And it actually sounded like to me that whether it passes or it doesn't pass really actually doesn't change the way we do business. And I think after our comments, maybe Dr. Washer could kind of explain her perspective on this and so forth. The whole time Dr. Washer and I were talking, I kept thinking, I go, so we're already doing this. And she communicates with us, and I understand, expediency and things, but it's also very simple to contact the board. Let's say, as an example, when the school returning to school was delayed until, at this point, April 6th. We didn't have to have a meeting or any of those kinds of things. Obviously, that kind of thing, that kind of authority already rests with the superintendent. And of course, there are communications that we receive about that. So I mean, it's kind of, I look at it as kind of like here nor there. I haven't heard really anything reasons wise as to why we have to do it. And if it passes, it's not a big deal. And if it doesn't pass, it's not a big deal. So anyway, that's my comment. Just I'm not sure at this point the necessity of it. So that's my comment.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you for your comments.
Mr. President, Sue McFarland, I have a quick question.
Yes, Sue.
If something was to happen to Kathy, God forbid, with the virus, does that power given to her to expedite things upon an emergency, does that transfer to someone else, or is that solely for Kathy for this situation?
Maybe Dr. Washer can answer that question.
Thank you. Still trying to figure this out.
That's okay.
Good question. We do have our REMS emergency plan that is layered by 3 levels. So if I am not available in the position I am in and working in that, then it goes to the next person. And then if that person goes to the next person. So in that regard, they are the incident commander, so to speak. But I would imagine that if that were to happen, that the board would want to get together anyway for different reasons as a board to be able to make plans. So that does happen, that if I am not able to be the incident commander in a situation, it does go to someone else. But I anticipate that any board at that point would want to call a meeting.
Thank you, Dr. Washer. Do you have any other questions, Sue?
No, Ron brought up some of them, and then that answers one of my questions.
Okay, very
Thank
well.
you.
Any other comments from the board?
Joe, I'd like to make a comment.
Yes.
One of them deals with, first of all, the county put this out as a recommendation. And we, of course, are looking at it tonight, and I don't know why. Kathy already went ahead on her own volition and moved the date to April 6th without consulting the board. In fact, we've never been consulted on that, nor have we voted on it. The other thing is, it was brought up earlier, 3516 Part 1 deals with the designee being Kathy Washer. And as Sue brought up, sick. Nowhere did Kathy Washer in her response tell us that we go to the REMS model and we don't know who's second in command. And I struggle with that greatly. And my last point is, and this is very big to me, we were voted in by our constituents, the people that we work for. We were voted in to be the guardian of Lodi Unified School District. And Kathy is an employee, and we are the caretakers of the school district. Now, I believe that, as most of you believe, that this is kind of a benign, go ahead and do it, vote it, whatever. but I think the optics and the message is poor. We need to reassure our people that the board is in command. Yes, Kathy does all the legwork, does all the work, advises us when she needs to. But when we had to close, she went ahead and did it, which is fine. Didn't consult the board. I struggle with that. We're always available. I really think this is a violation of our duties in passing this resolution, even though technically it's in her job title. I think it looks bad and sends a bad message. I will be voting no, and that will be a hard no. The optics, the reasoning just does not exist for me. We have a job to do. We were voted in. We need to do it.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Porter. Thank you for your comments. Any other
Mr.
comments
Melvin?
from the board?
Yeah, Mr.
Yes.
Melvin, Mr. Connexted.
Yes, Gary.
I've been looking, and in my opinion, we're not abdicating any power. We're simply delegating a job to our employee. Our employee, in fact, is Dr. Washer. And so, in my opinion, I think perfectly an okay thing for us to do, because she's probably the one that's most qualified to do it. We are here to make sure that we have good people in jobs to do the job, and this seems just normal to me. This is what we should be doing. She's the expert, and I think leadership is giving people the tools that they need, and then let them do the job. If something happens that we don't like, then we take that authority back from her. So I'm voting in favor of this.
Thank you, Gary.
Mr. President, I have another question. Oh,
excuse me.
This is Sue McFarland. Ron,
yes,
Mr.
yes,
Freitas, did you want to say something? I can wait. I'm a little concerned. I mean, I want to first thank Kathy for the job. I appreciate your long hours and your communication. And my question would be to Kathy: do you feel that us voting in favor of this helps you to do your job in a more cleaner way? Is there something about this that we are missing you could enlighten us with? This was the County Office of Education, San Joaquin County Office of Education's recommendation. I know we are not the only person this was recommended to. Is there anything that you can enlighten or impart us with that changes how you do your job and it could be expedited quicker?
Yes, thank you, Ms. McFarland, members of the board. This is a vehicle to be able to act quickly in an emergency situation. No superintendent wants to do it, but at times we are called to. And this is a tool for the board that decisions can be made quickly and efficiently in consultation with the board and communication with the board. And I do acknowledge that needs to happen. And in all emergency situations, of course, that the board will be informed. But there may be times when a quick needs to be made. I'll give you an example today. Closing down the district office building. That decision had to be made very quickly. There wasn't time to call a board meeting. There wasn't time to call everybody. That was something that I needed to make quickly. So it's a tool that will not be taken lightly by anybody, will not be used except in extreme circumstances. And it's an avenue for us to be able to get the job done in very difficult situations.
Thank you, Dr. Washer. Any other questions, Sue?
I'm sorry, I have one more. Is there an expiration date on this power? In other words, does it help during the pandemic and then there's a date when it stops once the emergency has passed, or does this carry throughout and we have to reevaluate it at like a contract time or at a calendar year?
Good question, Ms. McFarland, members of the board. This is specific to this particular situation. The resolution title does say COVID-19. So when no longer an emergency situation, this ceases to exist.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Mr. Mr. President,
Yes, sir, Mr. Freitas.
I appreciate my colleagues' and I join in much what they say, but I do have to disagree. I do not see this resolution as being superfluous. I see this as being very, very important. And let's start with the very title of this. This is a resolution delegating authority to take necessary action to protect students and staff from this coronavirus. And this is such an important issue right now in our community, in our nation, in our world, that this emergency resolution speaks exactly to this. It has shown not the board delegating direction, but in fact taking command in this and taking the lead in this. And the finding that it says, now therefore be it resolved, nor that the board declares the existence of an ongoing public health emergency within the district. This is very, very important, and I think this board needs to be loud and clear about it. Also, what the board is tasked with doing is giving direction to our one employee, the superintendent. And were we to know that the coronavirus were taking place last year, we would be telling her to exactly do this. But now we're giving the board direction, employee, to the superintendent to do all in her power to respond to the coronavirus, to ensure the safety and educational well-being of all of our students, all of our employees, provide necessary staffing and instruction, modify school and work schedules as necessary, and cancel any activities, protect district property, and to further make declarations of emergency as necessary. These clearly are necessary under the state that we now live in. So I am obviously voting for this. I thank everyone for their comments. And I'd also like to add that my prayers and thoughts are with the employee who contracted the coronavirus. We wish them and their family well, and we pray for a swift and speedy recovery. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Freitas.
Mr. Nava?
Yes. Question?
When we had the on it, Tokay, Dr. Washer went in and made that decision. Is that correct? She did not consult the board. When we had the situation today with the employee with the COVID-19, she went ahead and made that decision. When we had the county come together with the other superintendents and close the schools till April 6th in unison, she made that decision. I don't see why this statement tonight takes anything away what she already has. But what I do see it is us abdicating publicly a lot of our potential. What if it's potential that she does get ill? What if potential she goes rogue? Suddenly she's making decisions. And we have. So I think you need to be very careful here when we do this. I mean, a great example, but the states are making the decisions on the coronavirus, not the federal government. The governors are making the call. All you have to do is watch Governor Cuomo and see that he's making the call. He's not abdicating. He's doing it because he was elected by the people. And what I see tonight through this resolution, symbolically, is us abdicating our position. And I will end with my no vote, and I will say that we were wrong if we vote yes to anybody that asks. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Porter. Any other comments before I make mine?
Mr. President?
Yes, sir.
Just to add to Mr. Porter's comments, obviously, this resolution in no way, shape, or forms allows the superintendent to act without impunity, and the choices she makes will be at her peril. We have, as our one employee, we have all the powers to rescind anything that she does, and including her employment contract. So nowhere is that said in here. I see this as an important action in an emergency situation that is necessary to deal with this crisis. So,
Thank you. Any other comments?
Mr. President,
Yes.
I move that we approve this emergency resolution.
Let me give my comments a second, okay? Who's
Okay.
this, Gary?
Yes.
Yeah, Gary. Let me make some comments on this,
Okay.
because I've been on this. I'm the guy that's older on this board, and as far as I'm concerned, this resolution is it's an emergency resolution that we as board, we don't relinquish any power whatsoever in anything. If there's something that is really a crisis, the board gets involved in these crises. This is a crisis that comes from, we don't know where it comes from, because it supposedly came from other countries. But I'm not going to deal with any politics at all in this decision that I'm have to make. It's the point we have. She has consulted with the board members on her directives and has asked questions if you need changes on anything that she sends out to all employees, all employees of the district, and the board members themselves. I don't feel that I'm giving the power to her to do that, and I'm doing my job. I've always felt that way. We've had some crises in 2008 when that was really a drastic, and if you were involved with those things, you would understand what I'm talking about. But as far as I'm concerned, problem in letting our superintendent make the decisions. Sometimes she has to consult with the board. But in this situation where it comes from the county superintendent of schools for the district of San Joaquin County to close the schools on 6, what is this board going to do? No, we don't want to close the schools, or we want to agree with it. I don't have to go and agree with them at this point. I just want her to make the decision that comes down from those people that are delegated that the schools will be closed till the 6th, and then they're going to make a decision. I'm involved in making a decision. Okay, now we're going to have to open these schools on the 6th. Possibly not. But my point is that I support the superintendent in all aspects of that. But I feel that, like George Neely mentioned, we're not relinquishing any power as board members at all. I don't feel threatened by it. I have done a lot of things that on this board that I can remember that she needed the help from the board, and the board gave her direction, and the board generally gives her direction on a lot of things, including her evaluation. So that's my spill. Now, Dr. Washer, do you have any comments from the public?
Yes, I do. If you can bear with me just a moment. Can everybody hear me okay? Okay, I'm getting a nod yes. So I'm going to read the comments as they have come in. This one is from Brenda Muriak, and I apologize if I'm mispronouncing names. Parents who did not take out insurance on the Chromebook be liable for whatever may happen to the Chromebook. Also, our emails said paras will be collecting and redistributing them alphabetically. They are checked out to. How will we be keeping track of who actually is in possession of each Chromebook? I don't know, Mr. President, if you want to just take the comments, or if you want me to read people to other staff members, if you want me to address them as best I can, what's your pleasure?
I'd like for you to address them as best you can.
Okay, thank you. We are working on a way to get the Chromebooks out to kids. They will be scanned and noted who has which Chromebook. So yes, they will be getting different Chromebooks, but we will be keeping track of them. Please understand that we are going very best to make this as easy as possible for everybody. And we do not want to create additional hardships, additional worries because of this situation. So please don't worry about things like that. Even though maybe details haven't been worked out, we're doing what we can to take care of everybody.
Dr. Washer, Mr. Nava?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Can we maybe limit these comments to this particular item and then do the comments?
Yes.
other comments later.
Yes.
Thank
Yes,
you, George. I think that's what we want. Comments that are on the agenda.
Correct. I am
Okay.
these as I'm seeing them, so I'm not reading them ahead of time. So that's why maybe after I read it, if it doesn't pertain, we can say that we'll get back to the person in another manner.
Thank you.
So here's another Michelle Geisler. I'm at Mosier Elementary, a site that hasn't had an RSP teacher in over a year. How will we meet the needs of our students throughout this process if our students do not have an RSP teacher? Our RSP aide has been the main one keeping our students on track, and she's been phenomenal going above her job. Is she expected to continue to do so during these circumstances, or will it be left to another substitute who doesn't know our students? I want to make sure that I meet all students' IEP requirements. I think this is one that we can get back to Michelle through the appropriate
Yes.
staff.
Yes, please. Any others?
Yes, I'm just trying to keep track.
If you
Okay.
can decipher those that are related only to the resolution and any other items on the agenda, please.
Okay, I'll try. This one is from Jen Castle. What happens if something happens to Dr. Washer? Nothing does, but there is nothing in the resolution to provide for that. What about that? My suggestion would be that the board meets. Something
Absolutely.
emergency. That's my suggestion to you.
Thank you.
This one is from Martha Snyder. Can the resolution be revised or make it clear that school board still has oversight? P.S. I don't know if she wants me to read this. I'm going to read it because I'm reading them all. Dr. Washer, I don't know what that says. With all due respect to you, I think you need a task force to support you. Todd Solis.
A comment. Can I comment on these or not?
Now let's wait till she finishes with them, Mr. Porter.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Nova.
Okay, this is Todd. Probably this is Lori. No, Todd Solis. Celeste. Mr. Neely says this is for. However, this is not precisely why we need to not do this. Our district has fumbled this entire issue and is behind others in planning. Leadership we can get. My question is, what is our contingency plan? It appears we do not have one. If we do, where can I read it? Thank you. Would you like me to continue?
Continue on those that are in agenda, yes.
Jen Cass, the Pope's prayer today was, those in possessions of responsibility need to take responsibility. So why does this resolution feel like the board members, the very ones who ought to be taking responsibility in the midst of a crisis, are sidestepping opportunities for true leadership? The board was elected to lead, so why hand over the reins? What message does that send to an anxious community? Next one is from Michelle Orgon. Why are you relinquishing these powers? If as one board member says there is no difference, then don't make changes. If Washer doesn't know second in command, how can you vote yes? This one is Jamie Anaforian. How can a student who is failing at the end of third quarter raise their grades to passing before the end of the year? That one we will address in a different manner.
Thank you.
Michelle Orgon. We would plea a no until the public can vote on this. Why, if this is not necessary? We believe that if decisions are to be made, then the board should vote no on this. If there is no change in job description, then there is no need to vote for this tonight. As Gary Kay said, it is something she already does. Why are you voting for this? With all due respect, Dr. Washer makes those decisions already. Then keep it as it is, necessary for what we are doing now. Martha Snyder. I think this question would help the community at large get on board. I think you need to be protected as much as any other employee. Oregon. This is given her power she already has. We believe that some of the decisions made to ensure and protect the welfare and safety of persons working with agents, employees, representatives, and all others acting for or on behalf of the district and to provide necessary staffing and instruction. We question that by giving this power to the superintendent does not have the board as a check to her actions. We urge a no vote. That end of the comments.
Thank you. Now we have a comment from Mr. Porter or response to something.
Just a couple of things that were brought up. If we could add an amendment to the resolution, the board will retain oversight, would be nice. And then I would potentially vote yes. Also, in terms of legality, with us saying this in the resolution, and maybe Mr. Freitas could help me on this, we have now relinquished in a non-job description, but in a format that we're going to let Dr. Washer make decisions without our oversight. If she makes a decision that is, God forbid, hopefully inappropriate, are we then liable as a board? And those are my two things. Can we amend the resolution? Have we talked to legal about this? And where does it put us in terms of liability, in that we have now have a person that we have pointed out to make decisions for us?
Yes, this did go through legal and actually was written by legal counsel, retained by the County Office of Education, but our legal counsel has also reviewed it and believes that this is within the scope of authority of the board to do. Like we said, this is for this particular instance only. Don't like how this goes. And if by chance something else happens in the future, you can not do it or do it a different way.
There's a possibility to do an addendum to the current resolution.
Please state that again.
Can we add a addendum to the resolution where the board still retains their oversight?
I don't see.
Mr. Porter, just a question, just an answer to that. Why would we have to do that since we are in control?
You already have.
Yeah, I guess I should be very honest with you. You have a very anxious society, and by doing this resolution, whether it's benign or not, you are feeding their anxiety if you vote yes. By saying no, you really haven't changed anything. And you've calmed the community because they now know they have 7 people out there that are being responsible for the governorship of our school. Now, this is no knock on Dr. Washer, but it is something that we have to be aware of when we're dealing with a community that doesn't know what's going on with graduation, doesn't know what's going on with grades, doesn't know what's going on with remote distance learning. Can we do enrichment? Are we review? There's so many questions. And by adding on another thing that makes them anxious, are you just adding kerosene to the fire? And so that's why, another reason why I'm voting no on this. So I'm done. I think you pretty much have a very where I'm coming from. And again, I'll be voicing this in the community.
Thank you. Mr. Freitas, do you have any comment on that?
Mr. President, I move that we approve the resolution.
Okay. It's been moved by Mr. Freitas.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Neely that we approve this resolution. We'll go by vote, calling out your name and just give me a yay or nay. Mr. Neely.
Yay.
Mr. Heberly.
No.
Mr. Freitas.
Yay.
Ms. McFarland.
Yay.
Mr. Knaxat.
Yes.
Mr. Porter.
No.
Okay, Mr. Nava votes yay. Motion carries. Give me the, let me see, Mr. Neely, Freitas, McFarland, Knaxat, 5-2. Resolution passes. All right, we'll continue on with the agenda. We have some, you have a comment by somebody? We continue on with the agenda. We have action items on consent agenda A, routine business. Are there any board members that want to pull any of the items? I hear no answers, that the items stay as they are. Any from the community, Dr. Washer?
I'm not getting any. I did get a late comment on the previous item. I don't know if you want me to read that or not. It came in after you had already started the process.
You can give us the reading. The resolution passed 5-2, but go ahead.
Okay. This is from Lisa Wilkins. A few weeks ago, I addressed the board about being a constituent and as a constituent, what I expected my elected officials to do. I do not expect to abdicate their responsibilities to a non-elected official. This resolution is a bad idea, given that the current implementation of the CV-19 contingency plan has been chaotic at best. Giving the reins to a single individual is perilous.
Thank you. Thank you for reading it for us. Okay. Being that there's no comments from the board or anything.
Mr. President.
Yes.
I move that we approve consent agenda A.
Second.
Been moved by Mr. Freitas, second by
Next did.
that we approved routine agenda A. Again, I'll go with the voice vote. Mr. Neely.
You know, you got to turn the mic on to be able to be heard on this thing.
Okay, I think they mute. Okay, Mr. Heberly.
Yes.
Mr. Freitas.
Aye.
Ms. McFarland.
Aye.
Mr. Knaxat.
Yes.
Mr. Porter.
Yes.
And Mr. Nava, yes. Motion carries 7-0. We'll proceed. We have one report item and that has to do with the staff to prevent report on district facilities. That's Mr. Khan. Mr. Khan? Mr. Khan available?
See his lips moving, but no
Microphone on.
His mic's not on.
I'll text him. Well, he's holding up his phone.
I just moved computer audio. Can you hear me?
There you go. Oh.
I'm talking on computer on. You can hear me? Can everybody else hear me? Okay. All righty. Thank you, President Nava, Dr. Washer, members of the board. I'm hoping everybody has internet access because we're trying to move all these items onto our bonds and projects page. I don't know, Edith, if we can present this through this medium, but it's a very simple click through to the Edith, is that can we present the actual homepage, Lodi Unified homepage? Okay. So these items will be updated, and they're every time you click on them, you can expect them to change until everything is completed. While Edith's doing that, I'll run down. I won't speak at length. We're hoping to do this in person and hand out a nice award to Mr. Sampson and his staff the Tokate High Stadium actually won an award with the American Sports Builders Association. So we will get that nice plaque out to Mr. Knackstead, our Sandstrom, at some point when we all return to normal business. Edith, if we can close out, do you have control of the screen? If you can close out, or do I? Is this me clicking on it? It looks like. On our agenda tonight, we have several items, current projects. Edith, I just lost the web page. So if this works, this is all you have to do. Click on bonds and projects. I'll go through the closed, current, and future items first. We just click on these. These are our closed projects. Now the next sheet, we're probably gonna have to tailor just for that, because we are doing a lot of things. Trying to get back to the bonds and projects page. So this is a PDF that can be resized, but as you can see, we have is going on. And again, we can resize this. I'm not sure if it'll work through this medium, but this can actually expanded to something we can all read. But this will give the board and the community the name of the project, the DSA numbers, the date that board approval was provided.
I'm sorry, Leonard. Mr. Khan, because I can't read it. I don't know what I'm looking at. And I feel like it's kind of very unprofessional at the moment. That's just my feeling.
The object of this was if you had access to your internet, you can be with me right now. And I'm sorry, through this medium, I can't increase the size of it, but if you log on right now, you could easily do it. And the object of this is just to keep it in real time.
Go ahead, Mr. Khan. Consider it under the, I don't want to hold you up. It's just, I can't for you.
Well, I'm click on this item. I'm frozen here. Edith, can you pull the page back up?
It should be your computer now.
So I can just log onto the internet?
Everybody should be seeing your computer screen now.
Excellent, thank you. Can I go and click? You have been made the presenter, and it won't close anything out. Thank you.
You know, I'm going to have to agree. I think it would be much better if we would table this. I just don't think it's necessary right now. It's a report item. We can check back with Leonard individually on this and maybe we need to. It's my opinion.
We have a comment from the public that from Michelle Orgon, we want the remaining items to a board meeting where we can hear and see the items. We see items if we don't understand the presentation. Please table all these construction items.
I'd like to put forth a motion that we table these items to our next board meeting.
I'll second that motion.
Mr. Nava?
Mr. Khan, is there a timeline associated with anything?
There is not actually, if the board wants to look at these projects and financial information, or the community for that matter, on your own, it's all the point of this presentation was just to inform that it's all available at a simple click of your computer on the bonds and projects page. So we can bring this back. I don't mind doing that, but if the board is comfortable just following on a day or a weekly basis in real time with what we're doing, we can address individual more specific questions about.
I have a lot of concerns about financials. I know this is Measure U, Measure L, especially going forward and given the economic situation we're in. I think it'd be best to table these items so we can give them a good review and allow for you to do your presentation in a quality matter. And the same thing, that we're very clear and open and transparent with our public. So again, I put forward the motion, Neely seconded it, and I'm waiting for Mr. Nava to take it up.
May I give one more comment before you vote?
Sure.
This is from Michelle Orgon. People are using their devices to watch the YouTube to the report items.
Another reason for us to table this and move it on and try to be transparent.
Is Joe still on there?
I don't know.
I got kicked off twice already.
I believe my screen showed Mr. Nava exited or was exited.
Mr. Freitas, you're second in command. Can you pass it?
As acting vice president, I call for the vote.
Neely,
Ms. Neely, Mr. Heatherly, Mr. Freitas, Ms. McFarland,
Aye.
Mr. Knaxat,
No.
Mr. Porter,
Aye.
and Mr. Nava will abstain as unavailable, and it carries 5-1, 1 abstention. Anything further on the agenda?
No, Mr. Freitas, that is the end of the agenda. And
Can I have a motion to adjourn? There's nothing further.
Just thank everybody for your patience.
I'd like to know when our next board meeting is. And can we look at a emergency board meeting since we're all here? Pick a date.
Thank you, Mr.
Board.
So is there a
Next
motion to
board meeting
adjourn?
is April 7th.
The board meeting is April 7th.
Yes, sir.
Is it possible to have an emergency board meeting before that time? Again, that's up to our my fellow board.
I would agree with you, Mr. Porter. I think it would be necessary.
Mr. Porter, I concur. This is Ron Heberly. I think in the light of things, even if it's a special closed session only, or if there is business to conduct at the wishes of the superintendent, that's fine. But I think us as a board.
Date now, or would you like us to contact you?
I have the most flexibility, so I'll leave that up to the rest of. I'll leave that up to Mr. since his schedule seems to be the one that.
And I'm going to advocate to President Nava. So is there a motion to adjourn?
We have a motion session right now, Mr. Freitas.
Mr. Freitas, is this meeting going to be online again? I mean, if I'm not real comfortable having a meeting, in person, if there's a stay-at-home mandate from the state.
Well, you don't have a stay-at-home mandate. You have a 6 feet.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So I was at on Friday, and we were 6 feet apart, and I think everything was fine there. But again, this is an individual situation. I don't know everybody's situation. I don't know your health situation. I don't know your children, your wives, or whatever. I'm way more flexible than most people in that avenue. So, but me, I mean, this is a pandemic, and to abdicate that again, you were voted in. I don't see Mayor Cuomo, I'm using him as an example, not out in front.
You know, Mr. Porter, nobody's advocating anything.
Yeah,
You know what? The only way you can advocate your duties and responsibilities is to resign the board. So I've had enough of that. I'm not advocating anything. I never have. And Edith, can you put this thing on Zoom for us next time?
We can try Zoom.
I'd like the recommendation that we schedule a meeting within the next 7 days, and we have a motion on the table to adjourn this meeting. Kathy, can you get back to us in the next, schedule a closed session for the board within the next 7 days?
Yeah,
I have
so
one
we
more.
will
I have
contact
one
you
comment.
tomorrow with some dates.
I have one comment. Mr.
Yes.
Neely, if you have a comment for me, please send me an email. Don't do it in front of everybody like that.
Well, Mr. Porter, you were doing it in front of everybody else.
In front of
You're
everybody.
accusing me of advocating.
If you want to talk to me individually, please do
And I
so.
want to make that perfectly clear. And I
I'm
don't
making
wait
that
for
perfectly
anybody to do
clear
that.
right now as well. Please come individually.
You contact me if you want to talk.
I already did, George. You didn't contact me back.
That's right.
Mr.
Because
Prentice, can we move forward?
We are off agenda. We're off the agenda.
Please don't. Please.
Second
Okay.
motion to adjourn.
Okay, we have a motion to adjourn and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
With the,
Opposed?
with the,
Motion carries. Thank you.
thank you, Ron.
We will contact you tomorrow
Thank you.
for a meeting.
Thank you, Kathy.